You are sitting in a meeting. You have been working on a project for 6 months. You cleared your calendar. You sacrificed weekends. You believed that dedication would be rewarded. Then your manager announces the promotion. It goes to someone else. Someone who did half the work. Someone who talked more than they delivered. You smile. You nod. You say congratulations. But inside, you are burning. You ask yourself the same question you have asked 100 times before. Why does this keep happening to me? The answer is brutal. You are playing the wrong game. You think success is about effort. You think it is about being good. You think if you just work a little harder, sacrifice a little more, set bigger goals, the world will finally see you. It will not. Because the world does not reward effort, it rewards positioning. And right now, you are positioned like prey. If this makes your stomach turn, if you feel the sting of recognition, type this in the comments. I was chasing the wrong thing. Because once you see what I am about to show you, you cannot go back to being the person who sets goals and hopes for the best. You will become the person who engineers outcomes. Let me show you how. Most people believe that success is a ladder. You set a goal at the top. You climb rung by rung. You work hard. You stay focused. You visualize the destination. And if you are lucky, if the universe is kind, you reach it. This is the story you were sold. This is the lie that keeps you weak. Niccolò Machiavelli, the most dangerous mind in history, understood something that modern self-help gurus will never tell you. Goals are not tools of power. They are tools of control. When you set a goal, you are not taking control of your future. You are handing it to someone else. You are saying, my value depends on this outcome. You are saying, if I do not achieve this, I am worthless. You have just made yourself a hostage. And the moment you become a hostage, you lose all negotiating power. You become desperate. You become predictable. You become exploitable. Think about the last goal you failed to reach. Maybe it was a promotion. Maybe it was a relationship. Maybe it was a financial target. What happened to you when you failed? You crashed. You felt shame. You questioned your worth. You told yourself you were not good enough. That collapse was not because you lacked ability. It was because you built your identity on sand. You tied your self-worth to an outcome you could not control. And when the outcome did not materialize, the foundation crumbled. Machiavelli would call this strategic suicide. He would say, you volunteered to be weak. Let me give you the first law. The law of structural power. Delete your goals. Replace them with systems of inevitable advantage. A goal says, I want to make $100,000 this year. A system says, I will position myself in the flow of capital where money must pass through me. Do you feel the difference one is begging? One is architecture. When you set a goal, you are hoping the world gives you what you want. When you build a system, you are forcing the world to adapt to you. You are not climbing someone else's ladder. You are building your own elevator. And the people who laughed at you while you were laying the foundation will be the ones asking for a ride when it starts moving. This is the shift from goal setter to power operator. The goal setter reacts to the terrain. The power operator becomes the terrain. Here is the second law. The law of silent conquest. Never announce what you are building until it is already built. Right now, you are leaking power. Every time you post about your goals on social media, every time you tell a friend about your big plan, every time you explain your vision to someone who did not ask, you are bleeding energy. You think you are building accountability. You think you are manifesting. You are not. You are seeking validation, and validation is a drug. When you announce a goal, your brain releases dopamine. It gives you the chemical reward of achievement without you doing any work. You feel accomplished. You feel seen. And because you already got the high, you lose the hunger to actually execute. This is why most people never finish what they start. They got their reward too early. They celebrated before the war was won. Machiavelli warned that a prince must be a great pretender and dissembler. He must hide his true strength until the moment of the strike. If your enemies know what you are building, they will sabotage it. If your friends know, they will doubt it. If strangers know, they will mock it. But if no one knows, if you move in total silence, they will wake up one day and you will already be untouchable. You will not have announced your arrival. You will have simply arrived. And by the time they understand what happened, it will be too late to stop you. The third law is the law of anti-fragile positioning. Most people build glass castles. One unexpected event and everything shatters. They set a goal. They create a plan. They follow the steps. And then life happens. The market crashes. They get sick. A relationship ends. The plan falls apart. And because their entire identity was tied to that plan, they fall apart with it. This is fragility. This is what happens when you rely on hope instead of structure. Machiavelli understood that the world is chaos. He called it Fortuna. She is wild. She is violent. She does not care about your 5-year plan. If you try to control her, she will destroy you. But if you learn to dance with her, if you position yourself so that chaos makes you stronger, you become anti-fragile. Here is how. Stop building linear plans. Start building optionality. Linear plan says, if I do A, then B, then C, I will get D. Optionality says, I will develop 3 skills that are valuable in 10 different industries. I will build relationships with people at different levels of power. I will create multiple streams of leverage so that if one path closes, 5 others open. When you have optionality, you do not fear change. You welcome it, because every shift in the terrain creates new opportunities, and while everyone else is panicking, you are positioning. You are the wolf circling the herd while they scatter. You are not chasing a single target. You are waiting for the weak one to separate itself. And when it does, you move, fast, surgical, inevitable. Law number 4. The law of ruthless self-governance. You cannot control the world until you control yourself. And right now, you do not control yourself. You are a slave to your impulses. You say you want to be successful, but you sleep in. You say you want to be respected, but you tolerate disrespect. You say you want power, but you are addicted to comfort. Machiavelli asked a famous question, is it better to be loved or feared? His answer was clear, if you cannot be both, it is safer to be feared. Now apply that to yourself. Do you love yourself? Of course. You forgive yourself easily. You let yourself slide. You treat yourself with endless patience. That love is killing you. You need to fear yourself. You need to fear the version of you that wastes time. You need to fear the part of you that settles. You need to develop such a ruthless internal standard that the thought of disappointing yourself is more terrifying than disappointing anyone else. This is not cruelty. This is sovereignty. A king does not negotiate with rebels inside his own kingdom. He crushes them. Your mind is full of rebels, laziness, distraction, the need for validation. These are insurgents trying to overthrow your rule. You must become a tyrant to your own weakness, not out of hatred, out of necessity. Because if you do not rule yourself with an iron fist, the world will rule you with one, and their fist will not be as kind as yours. The 5th law is the law of strategic invisibility. Power is not in what you show, it is in what you withhold. Right now, you are too visible. You explain yourself too much. You justify your decisions. You seek approval. Every time you do this, you hand someone else the power to judge you. And the moment they have that power, you are beneath them. Machiavelli taught that the prince must appear one way while being another. You must show the mask, never the face. If you want to be formidable, you must become a mystery. When people ask about your plans, say you are figuring it out. When they ask why you did something, smile and say it made sense to me. When they try to provoke you, go silent. Let them talk. Let them fill the void with their own projections. Silence is not weakness. Silence is a mirror. When you say nothing, people reveal everything. They expose their insecurities. They show their strategies. They tell you exactly what they fear. And once you know what they fear, you know how to move them. This is psychological warfare. And the weapon is not your voice. It is your absence of voice. You become a void. And voids are terrifying, because people cannot fight what they cannot define. Law 6, the law of leverage over labor. You have been taught that hard work is the answer. It is not. Hard work without leverage is just suffering. Look around. The hardest workers are not the richest. The hardest workers are not the most powerful. They are the most tired, the most used, the most replaceable. Machiavelli did not fight every battle himself. He used alliances. He used other people's armies. He used other people's resources. You must do the same. Stop trading time for money. Start trading systems for freedom. Stop doing everything yourself. Start using technology. Start using other people's skills. Start using other people's capital. The goal is not to work more. The goal is to position yourself so that effort becomes optional, so that if you stop working today, the machine keeps running. This is leverage, and leverage is the difference between a worker and a king. A worker asks, "How much do I get paid per hour?" A king asks, "How many people are working for me while I sleep?" Shift your frame. Stop asking, "What can I do?" Start asking, "What can I make others do for me?" Not through force, through value, through positioning, through creating a structure where helping you is the best decision they can make for themselves. The seventh law is the law of the final position. Most people play to win the game. The Machiavellian plays to own the board. You have been focused on outcomes, promotions, money, respect. These are just pieces on the board. What you need to focus on is the board itself. Who makes the rules? Who decides what is valuable? Who controls the narrative? If you are playing someone else's game, you can win 100 times and still be a slave, because they can change the rules whenever they want. But if you control the game, if you define what winning means, you cannot lose. This is the ultimate power move. Stop trying to be the best employee. Build a company. Stop trying to be the most liked. Build a reputation so solid that being liked becomes irrelevant. Stop trying to win approval. Build a position where people seek yours. This is not about arrogance. This is about architecture. You are not trying to climb to the top of the pyramid. You are building your own pyramid. And when it is finished, people will look up and realize you were never in the race. You were building the track. Law number 8, the law of controlled chaos. You fear chaos. You should not. Chaos is the moment when the old structures fall and new ones can be built. When the market crashes, fortunes are made. When industries collapse, empires rise. When relationships end, identities are reborn. The average person sees chaos and runs. The Machiavellian sees chaos and moves closer, because chaos reveals who has real power and who was just borrowing it. If your success depends on everything staying the same, you are not powerful. You are lucky, and luck runs out. But if you have built a system that profits from change, that adapts to disorder, that becomes stronger when everything else is falling apart. You have transcended luck. You have become inevitable. Machiavellian strategy is not about avoiding the storm. It is about becoming the storm. The ninth and final law, the law of sovereign indifference. This is the highest level, the level where outcomes no longer control you. You have built your systems. You have positioned yourself. You have integrated your shadow, and now you reach the final evolution. You stop caring whether they respect you. You stop caring whether you win or lose, not because you have given up, because you have transcended the need for external validation. Your worth is internal, your power is structural, and whether the world acknowledges it or not is irrelevant. This is not apathy, this is sovereignty. A king does not beg his subjects to recognize his crown. He wears it, and if they do not bow, he rules anyway. When you reach this state, you become untouchable. You cannot be manipulated through praise. You cannot be controlled through criticism. You cannot be moved by fear or seduced by comfort. You are the unmoved mover, the still point in a spinning world. And that stillness is more powerful than any action. So where does this leave you? You came here looking for a strategy to achieve your goals. I am telling you to delete them. You came here wanting to know how to climb faster. I am telling you to stop climbing and start building. You came here hoping for a shortcut. I am giving you a siege. This is not the easy path. This is not the popular path. But it is the only path that leads to real power. The power that does not depend on circumstances. The power that does not bow to fortune. The power that makes you dangerous even in silence. You have a choice to make. You can go back to setting goals. You can keep hoping the universe will reward your effort. You can keep waiting for someone to see your value. Or you can become the architect. You can build the structures. You can position yourself where success is not a hope, but a mechanism. You can stop being the pawn and become the hand that moves the pieces. Most people will not choose this. Most people will watch this video, nod, and go back to their vision boards. They will keep wishing, keep hoping, keep waiting, and they will die wondering why the world never gave them what they deserved. But you are still here. You are still listening. That tells me something. You are not like them. You are ready to kill the weak version of yourself, the version that needs approval, the version that fears conflict, the version that believes the world owes you fairness. That version must die so that the sovereign can be born. If you are ready, if you understand that power is not given but architected, then join the few. Subscribe, not because I need you to, because you need the reminder. You need the voice that tells you the truth when the world is feeding you lies. This is not a community, this is a frequency, and only certain minds can tune into it. I will see you in the shadows, where the real work happens, where the silent conquerors build their thrones. The choice is yours. But choose quickly. Because while you are deciding, someone else is already moving. And in the game of power, hesitation is the only unforgivable sin.